Mhm. Okay, we are live, and I just want to also hit the recording button here just for a backup. Okay, welcome in. Welcome in, everyone joining behind the curtain, so to speak, on Zoom, and to all of you that look in later in the day, later in the week, or maybe even right now via the wonderful world of technology on Facebook Live, or later in the week when we post to our YouTube channel on YouTube. So welcome in. Happy Mother's Day. Let's do that right away. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, to all those who express the divine feminine, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Have some fun, keep it light, keep it short. And first, before we dive into all of that, I want to invite out my bride and your first lady, Tanae Kazmina, to share from the Daily Word, sitting next to her beautiful mother, my lovely
Thank
mother-in-law,
you.
Sharon Moore. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank
And
you, Reverend
take it
Stephen.
away, Tanae. Share.
Okay, Mother's Day. Blessings for all mothers, to everybody on here, to everybody looking in. Happy Mother's Day. I bless all mothers with thoughts of gratitude. There's nothing quite like a mother's love, so nurturing, caring, and warm. Today, I bless the women in my life who express this love in all they do. That's this lady here, and that's all of you. Whether it's the woman who raised me or any of the other women I know who so generously shared a mother's love, I have felt the care of God through their tender touch and encouraging words. Over the years, I have grown strong and confident under their kind direction and have relied upon their wisdom. The divine feminine flourishes on earth in the loving words and caring hands of mothers and all those who share a mother's love. I bless them and pray they know the love of God as they have shared it so generously with me. And from scripture, 2 Kings, verse 4, 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 30. Then the mother of the child said, "As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave without you." May the Lord add a blessing to the hearing and the reading of this word for the elevation of their minds and the edification of their souls. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day. Awesome. Awesome share today. Love that daily word today. So, welcome in again, everyone, and happy Mother's Day from me to all of you. And we're going to dive right in today with today's message, and then we'll share some things that about next week, that kind of thing. So, very interesting. Hang on one second here, please.
While we're waiting for Stephen to get back, what's one thing you love or loved about your mom? Well, I can't hear you, Sandy. I can see your mouth, your lips moving.
Yes, I know. I love the fact that my mother was really creative and she could sew and she could make the cutest things. And she made sometimes outfits for her and for me that matched and things like that. She was really good at that.
Well, I think the apple didn't fall far from the tree on creativity.
Oh, thank you.
I don't
Always
think, I think, well, very good. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you for
Oh.
picking that up. Was somebody else going to share? I'm sorry, I had a little major kind of little major, whatever that means. Was
Yes,
somebody else jumping out?
I think so. I'm not sure. I think I saw Glory trying to come on, but then I saw and she went away again.
Well,
No,
Glory,
I'm good. Go ahead, Reverend Steve. I was just going to say I appreciate my mom's wacky humor.
well,
Very
you know what?
good.
And we appreciate your mom too. She just has that loving way about her, and we absolutely cherish the time anytime we see her. So give her a big shout out and a hug from all of us to her. Okay.
I will
Absolutely.
definitely do that. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Well,
happy
wait,
Mother's Day.
I didn't get a chance to say what I love about her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we have like, what, 45 minutes, and I'll stop then. Um, One of the things I absolutely love about her. Oh my God, I can't even choose one thing. This is sad. But one of the things I love about her is that she is just phenomenal. She's a phenomenal woman. She can truly do it all. She can cook. She looks beautiful. She's, oh my God, anything education wise, she rocks it. She rocks it in every area. Thank you, Mom. I love you. Oh. What about you, JJ?
I don't have positive feelings about my mother. However, I want you and Miss Sharon to know that I appreciate her I can't pronounce it. She's a genuine person.
Thank
you, JJ.
Well, what I love about your mom, JJ, is that she created you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay, let's mute ourselves if we're not sharing anymore, and let's dive in. And again and again and again, happy Mother's Day to everyone. Yes, all of you, especially those of you who, of course, are moms. All the ladies too, who perhaps are not moms, as I said earlier, but just always seem to kind of glow with that motherly love and wisdom to brighten everyone's day. And certainly for the gentlemen too, who have stepped in either from time to time in the role of an absent mother, or who have played a dual role in the lives of their children, or perhaps siblings in some cases, or nieces or nephews and godchildren. Today we salute you all, honor you, and say thank you, moms. Happy Mother's Day. We love you. Now, I always include the guys because you just never know. Some of you have been with me for a while and maybe heard this before. It took place again this morning. I have a friend named Mike, a big man, not just a big man when we talk about big heart and all that, but a big man. I mean, about 6'7", maybe 6'8", but the very intimidating beard, ponytail, biker guy, very intimidating to the naked eye, but he's one of the best moms I know. And we call or text each other every Mother's Day. Every Mother's Day. As a matter of fact, just this morning, I said, oh, I got to get big. I'm going to do that early. And I grabbed the phone. I looked, it was 7:11. I said, I'm going to beat him this year. And a message had come in to me at 7:08 because he has 4 children. They're grown now, but when he divorced at a young age, his ex-wife disowned the children, disowned all of them, not wanting anything to do with them. Well, Big Mike did it all and raised 4 children by himself, worked full time. And those 4 children kept out of trouble, had all the love in the world, and who turned out into amazing young adults. And I use the word very intimidating to the naked eye. And using the naked eye was on purpose, so I could remind myself to remind all of you that we should always, always, always look past what we see on the surface, interactions with others, and look to the heart, to the Christ of others. As I ask you to do, being a person of increase, to all who come across your path, demonstrating compassion, radiating love, and sharing God's grace. Noticing that most everyone is dealing with something on one level or another. And we can be that comforting, soothing presence, just by our words, by our look, by a touch, by a hug. Mother's Day reminds me of that. If anyone knows that there's something else going on, or that we're trying to hide something that's going on below the surface, moms seem to always know that there's more than meets the eye. That motherly love can get in there, especially in the case of a child, right? It can dig into the heart of the matter, pull it out, kiss the boo-boo, vanish the scar, love the hurt, and fix just about everything that's wrong. And they do it with caring and kindness. Yep, moms know. They're kind of like God that way too, right? With their women's intuition, and some with their all-knowing posture. Like my other friend, John's mom. Now, John invited his mother over for dinner. During the course of the meal, his mother couldn't help but notice how John and his roommate, Julie, looked at each other. She had long been suspicious. She had long been suspicious of the two of them. And, she just didn't know what was up, right? She'd been suspicious of a relationship between the two of them. And the way they were looking at each other during the dinner just made her more curious. Now, by the end of the evening, she was convinced that there was more between them that met the eye. Reading his mom's thoughts, John volunteered, "I know what you must be thinking, Mother, but I assure you, Julie and I are just roommates." Well, about a week later, Julie went to John saying, "Ever since your mother came to dinner, I've been unable to find the silver gravy ladle. I've looked everywhere. You don't suppose she took it, do you?" John said, "Well, I really doubt it, but I'll email her just to be sure." So John sat down and wrote these words. He said, "Dear Mother, I'm not saying that you did take the gravy ladle from my house, and I'm not saying that you did not take the gravy ladle, but the fact remains that one has been missing ever since you were here for dinner. Love, John." Well, the next day, John received a response from his mother that read, "Dear son, I'm not saying that you do sleep with Julie, and I'm not saying that you do not sleep with Julie. But the fact remains that if she were sleeping in her own bed, she would have found the gravy ladle by now. Love, Mom." Oh, boy. I love that one. I can hear them laughing in the other room. Okay, I'll give you a minute to settle down a little bit. I think you like that one. I think I might have shared that before, but that's a good one. All right. Well, I wanted to lighten things up for those of you too, and we have them out there as Reese just shared, who feel a sense of heaviness today. And before I go further, I would like to stop and acknowledge the fact that many are perhaps without their moms or have less than pleasant memories. And today is sometimes a difficult day for those of you who struggle with loss or separation, issues of forgiveness, or challenging or non-existent relationships. To those of you who find yourself in that place, speak to your moms in your hearts, telling them of your love or reaching out in forgiveness or simply releasing those feelings that burden you. Today is your day too. Your day. May your hearts be light and may God's love fill that void. And we can do this more easily when we look to the motherly aspects of God. When we look to God in ourselves and personalize the principle which God is, we look to aspects that we've referred to as the divine masculine and divine feminine. And I want to just back up just a moment here and, really encourage you to release that heaviness. That is something that you may be carrying within yourself. Now, we all grieve in different ways and in different shapes and forms. This is my third Mother Day without my mom, who transitioned in 2020. But what we have to not forget in our personal happiness is that others are in our lives in this present moment, perhaps as our children, or perhaps just in a loving relationship that we share. And if we are ceaselessly, and I'm saying aside from our grieving, if we are ceaselessly looking at in the rear view mirror of what is no longer physically with us, then we rob this moment of the joy it can be and has the potential to be if we would stay fully present with the ones who are loving us right here and right now. And that's so important to share in that exchange of right here and right now, because that's what we have. So just remember that. And if there's heaviness, work on forgiveness, work on letting go, and being here in the present moment with the love that you are. Again, when we look to the motherly aspects of God, when we look to the divine feminine, this makes it all a little bit easier because it's unchanging. It's always there. Unconditional love, love without conditions. You hear many, especially in unity, open their prayers with, "Dear Father, Mother, God." Now, we do that in our humanness to personalize God, since we can't really define God from our limited human perspective. Since God is greater than the sum total of all that is, it is beyond our capacity to know all the infinite facets and aspects of God. But it really isn't necessary to define God in order to experience the power and presence of God in our lives. Jesus the Christ taught us that the best way to do this was to become like children. It is when we are open and innocent with no preconceived notions about sensing the power of God that we discover the interconnection with God. Then we find that knowing God is simple. and a very natural experience. We stop the striving and trying, and we look, and it's always been there. In this experience, we can know some of these infinite aspects of God, such as love, peace, joy, and wholeness, and find that comfort that perhaps we are seeking. Charles Fillmore defined divine wisdom as the divine masculine or fatherly aspect of God, and divine love as the divine feminine or motherly aspect of God. What is important here to know is that no matter how we divide up God in our humanness to strive for a better understanding, what's important to know is that there is only one presence and one power active in and as the universe and our lives, and that is God the good. And that's our first basic unity principle. My point is to remind everyone that God is our source, period, of everything. And this source is within us, available to us, and no matter what we seek, even if it's a stronger feeling of a motherly type love or the wisdom from a father figure, we need only go within. We need only stop waiting for someone or something outside of ourselves to become our source of what we falsely believe to be missing in our lives. And this goes for anything that seems missing. It is only an illusion that we hold on to, believing that there's some missing piece somewhere that is out there. And this missing piece would somehow make us complete and whole and happy if we were only able to latch on to it. Releasing this illusion is where our power lies. The spiritual gift of power that we talk about really in the month of May, we look at the spiritual power of power. And that's our focus that we should look to if we're moving and recognizing and calling on these spiritual powers identified by Charles Fillmore. May is when we look at this, and we should be looking at all these all the time. We'll talk more on that moving forward because these are something we can develop as we're more aware of them on a regular basis. But it is in recognizing the power and presence of God in us as our source, then going out, going to and living from this power and presence as our source of all good, that we live from a position of power to attract more of our good through right thoughts, right words, and right actions. We can go to this source for all things. God, as our source, knows and is all knowledge and all wisdom and can be that motherly love that can get in there. Help us dig into the heart of the matter. Pull it out. Kiss the boo-boo. Banish the scar. Love the hurt and fix just about everything that's wrong with caring and kindness. Yeah, God is a part of moms, and moms are a part of God, so much so sometimes you really don't know where one leaves off and the other begins, and it doesn't matter because it's a love that's all the same. In our childlike innocence, this love just feels good. No matter how old we are, it still feels good, and it's always there and available to us no matter what. Pure, unconditional, loving love. Take some time to not only bask in the warmth of that love today, but pass a little of it on. Share it, give it, radiate it. A favorite quote of mine that's appropriate here comes from a very popular mother of sorts, Mother Teresa. She says, not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Small things with great love. Those small things with great love can be a great thing in the life of another we may encounter. This is another place where that more than meets the eye comes into play. Mother Teresa tells us again, let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, and kindness in your smile. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. End quote. I love that one. It's not one we hear very often. We have no need to be intimidated by appearances, circumstances, or situations we encounter in our lives. We are powerful beyond belief when we use our spiritual powers in the right way and come from the loving kindness of God within us to lift others, to bless others, to praise others, and to love others. We just never know how much difference we can make in the life of another when we remember to come from our Christ in all encounters and share a little motherly type love through the gentle warmth of our smile and a kind word. In closing, I'd like to share one more story that illustrates yet another famous quote by Mother Teresa. She says, it's not how much we give, but how much love we put into the giving. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into the giving. This little story here to wrap things up today, this is about three brothers putting love into their giving. Three sons left home, went out on their own, and prospered. They all did very, very well for themselves. Now, getting back together, they all discussed the gifts they were able to give their elderly mother. The first said, I built a big house for our mother, a big, beautiful mansion. The second said, I sent her a Mercedes with a driver. Now the third smiled and said, I've got you both beat. You know how mom enjoys the Bible, and you know she can't see very well. I sent her a brown parrot that can recite the entire Bible. It took 20 monks in a monastery, 12 years, to teach him. "12 years, 20 monks to teach that parrot the Bible. And I had to pledge to contribute $100,000 a year for 10 years, but it was worth it for mom. Mom just has to name a chapter and a verse, and the parrot will recite it." Soon after all of this and all these wonderful, amazing gifts, mom sent out her letters of thanks. Milton, she wrote to the first son, the house that you built for me is so huge. I live in only one room, but I have to clean the whole house. Marvin, she wrote to another, I'm too old to travel. I stay home all the time. All the time. So I never use the Mercedes, and the driver is so rude. And then, dearest Melvin, she wrote to her third son, she said, you are the only son to have the good sense to know what your mother likes. That chicken was delicious. $100,000 a year, huh? Oh my. Well, I just want to, I'm having all kind of technical difficulties here, but I want to wrap it up, and end on that note with the smiles that I see out there. And yeah, delicious chicken, right? That's an expensive. I wonder if that came out to per pound. But I'm going to call Tanae back in here and ask her to close us out with prayer today, this Mother's Day, as we wrap things up. Yeah, well, wrap things up, and then we'll just remind everybody about next week too. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes,
Take
a
it
prayer
away.
as we go into a day filled with joy, that feminine divine. It reads, I express gratitude for the many channels through which motherly love flows. On this day devoted to appreciating mothers, I find it helpful to expand this energy to include the many channels through which motherly love flows into my life. Whatever my gender or personal history, motherly love is an intimate and important power in my life. It enfolds me as divine presence, and it flows to me through many channels. I express motherly love as more than simply a warm, pleasant feeling. Today, I recognize its tremendous power in my life, expressing as guidance, understanding, and creativity. I honor that maternal presence as I welcome every opportunity to share it with others. I express gratitude for the many channels through which motherly love flows. Thank you for this word this day. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you for sharing that, Tanae. I appreciate that. And I want to, you know what, before we take it off of, let me just come back here. All right, before we take it off of social media, I just wanted to mention again that next week I will be speaking live at Unity of Panama City. And so we'll get the directions out. We won't be taking a bus out there. But if you do come and you're part of Unity Prosperity and a regular, somebody that comes and joins us here, if you do want to make the drive out there and maybe talks to monks, if anybody wants a carpool, we will go out afterwards as a small group. Those of us for a lunch or a brunch, whatever it gets done. I think they start at 10 or 10:30. I'll have to put the details in the email, but we will take you all out again if you would like to join us for that. So I'm speaking next Sunday, and Glory, our own Glory Cato, is speaking the following Sunday. They're going through the 5 basic unity principles. So I have number 3, which I like to think of as my specialty. We are co-creators with God, creating our reality through thoughts held in mind. May possibly share the stickman finger. I won't be writing out a talk. I'm just going to let whatever is downloaded from the divine get out there. And then, Lori, you want to share a little bit about your talk the following Sunday? Principle number 4. Do you got that put together yet, or laying that swirl around up there?
Yeah, thank you. I'm really looking forward to that, and that we're going to be back to back. So I will be talking about Unity's 4th principle and talking more about the power of prayer and meditation in our lives. That might be one of my specialties. We're each guided to the right and perfect topic. So I am looking forward to it and looking forward to hearing your message.
Yeah, that's great, because I will be pointing to yours, because in that 4th principle, we also talk about tools that we use. And there is, as Glory just shared, prayer and meditation, but we also hear about denials and affirmations. And that's a big part of that co-creation that we do. So I'll share a little bit about that too. And everyone that's there, I'll encourage them to come back and listen to your words so they can figure out how to apply those in their lives. So what I'm going to do now is take us off of social media. Thank you all for looking in. I see we have some people watching on Facebook. I want to thank you all for being here and looking in. We're here every Sunday at 9 o'clock Central Time. If you want to get on our email mailing list, let me know. And through that mailing list, you can get the access link and the codes to join us behind the scenes, so to speak, where we share fellowship before and after the surface when it's not going out for the world to hear what we talk about. It just gives everybody a safe place to share. So for now, I wish you all an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you. All right.